Hiring decisions are not slow by nature. They become slow when someone has to think too much about making them. And once you understand how to remove the hesitation, the process starts to move faster in a way that actually feels predictable instead of random. Section 1. Hiring is a risk decision, not a reward system. The first thing you need to understand that hiring is not a system designed to reward effort or potential. It is a system simply designed to manage risk. Every hiring decision is made under pressure, even if it doesn't look like it from the outside. Take it from someone who has had to do a lot of hiring, and most of the time when you're making that decision to hire, it's because you're having to replace someone or make a fast call on that decision, and it is a risk to the team. A manager is trying to solve a problem. Maybe they are short-staffed, maybe a process is not working, maybe their team is overloaded, and they need someone to step in without making the problem worse. So when they evaluate a candidate, they're not asking, is this person impressive? They are really asking, is this person safe enough decision to move forward with right now? That is a very different lens, because impressiveness is subjective, but risk is practical. Risk is about uncertainty. It is about whether they believe in you, will show up, adapt, contribute, and not create additional friction. This is where most candidates unintentionally slow themselves down. They focus on describing traits such as motivation and curiosity, willingness to learn, but those things require interpretation. They require belief, and belief takes time. What speeds things up is reducing the need for belief. Showing something that already exists, demonstrating something that has already happened, and actually providing real-life examples and detail to describe it. For example, there's a difference between saying you are reliable and showing that you consistently handled responsibility in a real context, which is providing actual dates, details, not a super lengthy answer, but just providing enough description that they actually know the situation happened. There is also a difference between saying that you're interested in a role and then showing you've actually already taken the steps in the direction. Those differences reduce uncertainty. And when the uncertainty goes down, decisions happen faster. Section 2. Most people think the job search begins when they start applying. But by that point, they are already behind in terms of momentum. Because applying is not the beginning of the process. It is the moment you enter the system. And entering without context is slow. When you appear as a candidate with no visible trajectory, no clear direction, and no signals of movement, you force a person reviewing you to start from zero. They have to interpret everything from scratch. That takes time. And in a system that is designed to move quickly, the time is something people are trying to avoid spending. Now, compare that to someone who has created a small amount of visible direction before applying. Maybe they explored a specific skill, maybe they built a simple project, maybe they clarified what they are aiming for. That creates continuity, and it shows that they have already started moving. And movement matters because hiring is not just about where you are. It's about where someone believes you are going. When you see evidence of direction, even on a small scale, it becomes easier to trust that you will continue in that direction, and that trust reduces the hesitation of the person hiring you. So the fastest candidates are not the ones who start applying first. They're the ones that create momentum before they apply. Because once you have momentum, every step after that moves faster. Section 3, clarity is what makes you easy to understand. Clarity is the most powerful accelerator in the entire process, and it's also one of the most misunderstood. Most people think that clarity is about understanding themselves internally, but in hiring, clarity is actually about how quickly someone else can understand you externally. So when someone reviews your profile, they are not trying to fully analyze you, they are trying to categorize you quickly. They are asking themselves, where does this person fit? And if they can't answer that question quickly, they'll move on. Not because you're not capable or unlikable, but because the system does not reward uncertainty. This is why broad positioning slows people down. When you say that you're open to anything or that you're interested in all these multiple areas, you create work for the person evaluating you. They now have to decide where you fit in. And most of the time, they don't make the effort or have the time to do it. Clarity reduces that burden. It allows someone to look at you and immediately place you in a category that makes sense. In that category, it might not be perfect, but it is usable. And usability is what matters, because hiring decisions are not about perfect understanding, they are about fast understanding. And when someone can understand you quickly, then they can move forward without hesitation. Okay, so if you're starting to see that getting your first job is less about doing more and more and a little bit more about being understood faster, this is exactly the shift that changes everything. This is what we focus on at Tiggbee too, helping you move forward with clarity so that you're not wasting time guessing. If you want more strategies like this that actually help you move forward, then please take a minute to subscribe to the Tiggbee channel below. Section 4. Proof is what turns interest into trust. Once you are clear, the next step is proof. And proof is what transforms your positioning from something abstract to something real. Most candidates rely heavily on explanation. They talk about what they've learned, like what they're interested in, what they want to do, but explanation exists in the future. It requires someone to imagine what you might be capable of. That imagination introduces uncertainty. Proof, however, proof exists in the present. It shows you what you've already done, even if it's small. And that eliminates the layer of uncertainty immediately. So here's an example. Someone interested in marketing can create a few sample campaigns or analyze a brand's content strategy. Someone interested in data can take publicly available information and generate insights. Someone else interested in operations can document how a simple process could be improved. These are not large commitments, they are small, focused demonstrations. But they do shift perception because now you are not just someone who wants to do something, you are someone who has already started doing it. And that shift reduces the amount of thinking required to move forward, which increases speed. Section 5, why applications alone are the slowest path. Applications feel like the main path because they're the most structured part of the process, but they're also the most constrained. They are designed to handle really large volume, but not to highlight individuals. That means when you apply, you're entering a system where attention is limited and the filtering is really aggressive. Your application is not being deeply analyzed, it is being quickly evaluated for clarity and relevance. If those things are not immediately obvious, then you're most likely not going to move forward. This is why applying more does not necessarily make you faster, it just increases your exposure to the same bottleneck. So if your signal is not strong enough to pass through that bottleneck, repeating it does not improve the outcome. A faster approach is to strengthen your signal and then reduce the reliance on the bottleneck. Applications should support your strategy and not define it. Because if your only path is the slowest path, then your overall speed is pretty limited, right? Section 6, visibility is what creates opportunity. Visibility is what increases the probability of getting noticed, and probability is what drives outcome in hiring. If you are only visible through applications, your probability is pretty low because of competition. When you create visibility through interaction, examples, or presence, you increase that probability. I remember once when I was having to hire for a certain position at our company, and there was quite a few applicants that I was having to weed through, and one of the applicants actually called in and asked a really thoughtful question. And because of that, her name stuck out to me. And when it was time to interview her, I remembered her and it stuck to mind because there was that initial interaction and that question that she took the initiative to call. And this does not mean being everywhere. It means being visible in the right places in the way that connects you to what you're trying to do. For example, engaging with people and roles you are interested in, sharing small pieces of work, or asking thoughtful questions, hence my previous hire, creates visibility. It puts you in front of people in ways that application alone really cannot. And when your visibility increases, your chances increase. And when your chances increase across multiple points, outcomes start happening faster. Section 7, direct interaction builds memory. One of the simplest, most effective ways to move faster is by creating memory. If someone has never seen your name before, you are just another candidate. If they have seen your name, even briefly, then you are easier to recall. That recall can make a huge difference between being ignored and being considered. Direct interaction creates that memory. A short message, a quick conversation, a relevant question, these are all small actions, but they create recognition. Recognition reduces friction, and reduced friction, then, you guessed it, increases speed. Section 8, small yes decisions build momentum. Most people aim directly for the biggest decision, which is the job offer. But that is the slowest decision because it requires the most certainty. Smaller decisions happen faster because they require less certainty, right? A conversation, a response, a short opportunity to contribute. These are all examples of small yeses. Each small yes builds familiarity and trust. And as trust builds, larger decisions become even easier. This is how momentum is created, not through one big moment, but through a series of smaller ones that gradually reduce uncertainty in the process. Section 9, feedback loops are what create speed. Every action you take generates feedback. Even if it's not obvious, the key is how quickly you interpret and act on that feedback. The fastest candidates do not wait for perfect clarity. They look for patterns, they adjust quickly, and then they refine continuously. People who move slowly often repeat the same actions without meaningful change, but speed comes from responsiveness. Act, observe, adjust, repeat. The faster that loop runs, the faster you improve. And then the faster you improve, the faster you get results. Okay. If you are starting to see that this process is really just about how to adjust and refine, not just about how much you do, you are already getting ahead of most people. This is exactly what we like to break down on this channel. So hit subscribe to Tiggbee if you want to keep building that edge. Section 10, relevance is what gets you attention. Even if you are clear and have proof, you still need to be relevant. Relevance is what makes someone pay attention to you. It's about connecting what you have done to what they need. This requires prioritization. You highlight the parts of your experience that align with the role. This strengthens your signal because now it's not just clear, it is useful. And useful signals get attention. Section 11, presence shapes decisions quickly. How you communicate matters more than people expect. It is one of the fastest ways that you are evaluated. Clear communication signals competence. Direct responses signal confidence. And thoughtful engagement signals awareness. These things influence decisions quickly because they shape how easy they feel you are to work with. And hiring is not just about capability, it is truly about you integrating into the company. Section 12, environment matching accelerates everything. Different environments will prioritize different traits. Some will value speed and initiative, others will value structure and consistency, let's say. When your approach matches the environment, decisions happen faster because there is less friction. So part of moving quickly is not just improving yourself, it is choosing the right context. Section 13, luck is preparation meeting visibility. What looks like luck is usually alignment. You are prepared, visible, and positioned at the same time. When those align, opportunities appear quickly. And because the timing looks sudden, it feels like luck, or it looks like luck, but it's not random, it is built. So guys, if this helped you see a little clearer and a faster path to getting your first job, please share it with someone who is going through this right now. And if you want more content like this that actually helps you move forward, then please subscribe to the Tiggbee channel below. At the end of the day, the fastest way to get your first job is not by doing everything. It is about making it easy for someone to say yes to you. You reduce uncertainty, you increase clarity, you show proof, you create visibility, and you build momentum. Each of these removes friction. And when you remove friction, then the speed follows. Because hiring is not about finding the perfect candidate, it's about finding the clearest, lowest risk decision available. And when you become that, everything moves faster. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.